So after we understand the whole level thing, we have to do our best to acknowledge that there is a key ingredient and component to a successful relationship and eventually a successful marriage. And that component right there is love. Okay? Now, how are we supposed to love someone who, constantly just, does his best to make us feel like they don't really deserve that love? There's something missing. But let's go down to common sense. Let's go down to common sense. I've seen frames and houses, bumper stickers, and stuff like that say the phrase of love is the key to happiness. Some of you may say, well, I don't think that's the key to all happiness. With a little bit of money, I could be a lot more happier. But all right, are we talking about forever happiness here? What type of happiness do we want to have? Because money can momentarily make us happy, and then what? Money is just money. All right, you can have all the things in the world, but then, without love, what do you really have? You have nothing. You just have possessions. So love is really the key to happiness, because you could be broke as a joke. And if you have love in your life, you will feel like the richest man on earth. So what is love? That is the main key, okay? Because if love is the key to happiness, and world people acknowledge that love is the key to happiness, because this is not a Christian bumper sticker or a Christian frame. It has nothing to do with that, okay? Because it doesn't even, that phrase right there is not even in the Bible. It's not in the Bible, okay? But the world acknowledges that love is the key to happiness. Now, what is love? What does the Bible say? 1 John, New Testament, 1 John chapter 4, verse 8.
Well,
whoever doesn't know love.
Yeah. But what I've always shortened it down to is, they always taught us that ... meant, there's more to it, but you ain't going that. So we're just going to put quote unquote ... God is love ... Quote.
Okay. Yeah. If you really don't know God, there's no way you're going to know or understand love. Okay, we have a video which we break down the meaning of love. Okay, but today, just to give you a brief little breakdown, there are characteristics of love, okay, that if we don't look into them, there's no way we're going to really acknowledge how we are not loving. That is the main problem. We don't realize that, I haven't really loved, okay? Some of the characteristics of love you can find in 1 Corinthians, New Testament, chapter 13, verses 4 through 7. Some of them are, love is patient, okay? Love is kind. Love is not rude, okay? Love doesn't think of itself. Love, it waits for everything. It hopes for everything. Love is just a beautiful thing, okay? Love is a beautiful thing. So when you look at those characteristics and you connect them with the fact that God is love, it means that God is all of that, okay? So if love is the key to happiness, what the world is unconsciously saying is that God is the key to happiness. But people don't want to acknowledge it like that. They say, I don't think so. But whether you think so or not, the sun's still going to come up in the morning. So a fact is a fact, all right? Now, it's easier to just, accept it, embrace it, study it, and, use it for your own benefit. Because what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? You already have lost but so much, okay? So, when it comes down to that, all right, let's realize that we are lacking a main component, which is God in our lives, all right? The first real relationship that comes down to is the relationship that you have with God, okay? If you don't have a good relationship with God, there's no way you're going to be able to value the partner you're with. Because by having a good relationship with God, you will acknowledge that God created that partner that you are with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? By having that relationship with God, you will have respect for that partner. Okay? Not just for that partner's benefit, but because you already love and respect God. Alright? Now, God has high standards for everything. Alright? God is not something, I mean, we're talking about the God of the universe here. Our human mind cannot comprehend that. It can't. But in reality, when you do studies, alright, as far as how huge is the universe, alright, how little our planet is, and how much of a speck are we really in the universe? Because we think, oh yeah, you know, I'm big. But when you do studies about everything that's in the universe, we are really a speck in the universe. But yet God still has us alive. That's love. Okay? He don't need us, but He wants us. Okay? One day, you're going to see. He's going to come back. It's inevitable. So what are you going to do about it? Where are you going to stand on that day? Alright? Let's just start opening our minds to it. We open our minds to things that don't benefit us at all. Why do you think there's so many struggles in our lives? Because we have polluted our mind with trains of thoughts that don't need to be there. Through these shows, gentlemen think of women in such a degrading way that it's hard for a man to value a woman. Okay? Through these shows, women have embraced, okay, all these type of, you know, fashion trends that they quote unquote feel like they need to follow in order to get some type of attention from a man. But that is not good because it's all visual. It's all visual. And the appearance is not always what it seems. How many of you have gotten into relationships based on appearances, and later on you find out that that person is no good? You need to try to get to know the person. The only way to get to know them is through communicating. Okay? Disregard what you see. Don't always go for what you see. Don't follow your heart. Okay? Lead it. Alright? Lead your heart. Don't let your heart lead you. Because what does the Bible say about the heart again? The heart is what?
Can be the most deceitful thing to you.
It's the most deceitful thing. And I mean, when the Bible refers to it as the heart, it really means the mind. Okay? So the mind is the most deceitful thing above all, because what did I just mention? We have polluted it. Okay? With all this nonsense. Through TV, through music, influences with our friends. In reality, get together with the true source of love, and everything will start making sense to you. Alright? So, when it comes down to God's standards, give an example of how high are God's standards.
2 examples. Well, like in a movie, what was the movie called?
Fireproof.
Fireproof. They didn't come out too long ago. God's standards are so high that He even considers the little things. And when I mean little things, I mean
little things to us.
Yeah.
Because to God they're big.
I mean little things to us that we may think that it don't count. Because at the end of the day, a lot of times we think it don't count.
Yeah.
But let me just give you like 2 examples. One, for example, hatred.
Hate. How many people say, I hate that person?
Or I hate so-and-so.
Now, this is where God's standards are like, poof. When you think about hate, God really views it as you thinking of what?
Murder.
He considers hate to be murder. Alright? That is not good.
I mean, there's a scripture that even says that.
Yeah. Alright? And that's in Matthew chapter 7, if I'm not mistaken. Because I don't want to mislead you. I don't want to mislead you. And when it comes down to what we just shared with you with the mind, alright, Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9. Okay, Jeremiah 17, verse 9. Now when it comes down to the hatred part, it has to be a Matthew. chapter. Yeah. It is on chapter 7. That's in chapter 7. That's in the New Testament.
Yeah.
Now, the other aspect of something minor would be
lusting.
lusting. All right, and what is lusting? Lusting is desiring.
Yeah, desiring.
Okay.
You know.
And how does he consider lusting?
Adultery.
Adultery. Okay. Now, when you're with a partner, okay, you may not act upon it, but if you think about that person that just walked down the street next to you in a lustful way, in a desiring way, you're already cheating on your partner. All right. The action is only the reflection of the thought. You can only feed a certain thought until you act upon it. Plain and simple. Why do you think, you don't really get to the point of smoking, drinking, partying, okay, unless you have fed that thought before? Because you are not born a smoker. You are not born a drinker. You are not born a sexual promiscuous person. These are things that you have fed throughout a period of time, and eventually they end up manifesting themselves because you haven't really cut the cord. You haven't restrained yourself from keep feeding that thought. That's what it comes down to. Okay? So what we have to do in relationship is we have to watch out for those parasites. That's what they are. They're like viruses. Okay? Parasites. Like pornography, alcohol, just hanging around bad influences that tell you, hey man, just go ahead, hang out with that, disregard that. I mean, if their advices do not come from the source of love, which is God, disregard it. Disregard it. Not in a disrespectful way, because in reality, when I hear ignorance, I don't hold it against the person because the person might not know no better. Okay, so what do I have to do? I'm not gonna judge you. I'm gonna share with you some knowledge. Now it's up to you to accept it or not. Okay, so we have to watch out for parasites, because if you truly love your partner, you must destroy all those addictions. You must destroy them. Okay, now even if you're not even in a relationship yet. Okay, you have to get rid of them before you get in a relationship, because by that time, it's going to be quite impossible for you to leave it alone. And then you're going to drag those parasites inside the relationship, and that ain't going to be good. That's not going to be good. So you need to embrace what marriage is really about. Okay, when people get married, it's been said, for better or worse, for health or sickness, but I mean, look at society. Look at everything else. It really seems like people get married only for the good times. People get married for the healthy times. When in reality, you have to be married for everything. It's like, take the whole package.
Not just some.
Okay? I mean, you're with a partner. All right? It's a lifetime bond. So when things get tough, don't leave them. All right? I mean, you never leave your partner, especially when you're in a fire. Okay? Don't leave your partner. I mean, you won't leave your partner behind to burn? No. All right? You have to be with them. Okay? Just stand with them through it. And everything eventually is going to start dying down as you guys work together, acknowledging that you guys are both equal to one another.